Hello, good morning, good day, good adventure, whatever you want to call today. Nice. Look at that. Lighting is decent. Live is working. Got a little doggy here with me. Oh, what a great day. I am a fan. Well, hello and welcome to some real person yoga, where I try to do yoga for real person people, not being exclusive, trying to incorporate some variations that lets you build it up if you want that little bit more. Take it easy if you want that extra gentle sense, or just in general be overall gentle with those extra gentle and little more options. So not quite that crazy vinyasa flow you find in a yoga studio, definitely a couple notches down, because I want to find all of those wonderful people who might be intimidated by that, who might not be ready to go into a studio, not because of things like COVID, but because of things like flexibility level, fitness level, just general intimidation by all of the yoga athletes or the pros that exist. And sometimes that can be intimidating being next to that. I think it's really funny that as you do yoga, you start to let go of some of that. And it doesn't matter what's happening off of your mat. Your practice is only about what's happening in these couple of square feet. And it's amazing. So that's what's my goal. I thought that'd be important to share first thing. I agree. Usually she crawls under the little table that everything sits on, but today I guess she's feeling like being a little more public, a little more on camera, showing off her good looks. Hey, I'll share the light with you. Yeah. This is Callie, my dog, who I try to bring with me everywhere, but I feel like I haven't been able to see enough with her lately. I'm busy. It's good. Okay, well let's jump on in. Oh, hey, did you make it, Dorian? Oh, you did make it. Look at you. Doing a yoga class every 12 hours almost. That's how I'm feeling this morning. It's good though. One of my favorites. Okay. Let's start to settle on in to our mats, finding that nice starting position, whatever that might mean for you. Maybe it's seated, maybe it's laying down, maybe you're just still sitting on a chair debating whether you want to actually do a yoga class or not, getting up the courage. Today is extra gentle yoga. I used to call it yin yang, but I'm calling it extra gentle now because we'll do a bit of movement, bit of stretching, and it kind of gives me the flexibility. I wouldn't mind getting up to standing today. I think that might be the goal, but we might not do much once we get up there. We'll see. We'll see. We'll work however we want to. So start to get into that nice position. We can start to feel into the body and start that little body scan. How are you feeling this morning? How are you doing? How are those muscles treating you? Do you feel a little dehydrated maybe? Do you feel a little bit, ready to go? You got lots of energy and you're pumping it up. So starting to sense into some of those. Are you feeling tired already? Your eyes just won't even stay open. Okay, sounds good. So start to feel into that. I left my coffee in the other room. So I'm just gonna go and grab it as you guys settle in. I slept in this morning. I planned on having my coffee done before class even started, but I didn't. Okay, can you lay down? Donna, good morning. Janet, good morning. Good morning. Welcome in. Okay, can you move so they can see me? You want to sit with me? Down. Sure. You want to sit on my mat? Okay, we'll allow it today because you're extra cute. So let's start to connect in with that breath. You found that position, you did a bit of a body scan. Let's get into a little bit of breathing this morning. Just simply noticing the breath, noticing how you're feeling. As you take that nice big inhale, maybe you start to notice how everything expands outward. Take that exhale, start to let everything draw back in. And take another inhale, start to breathe a little bit deeper, maybe breathing into that abdomen area. Nice big inhale, nice full exhale. Maybe sigh it out, let it out. Let's take another big inhale breath. This time, you're just trying to breathe into the abdomen area. So maybe even put a hand on your heart and kind of just above your stomach, starting to feel into that. See if you could just move your bottom hand and start to take that big breath in. Not like really letting the ribs expand, not letting that collarbone lift. All of that breath is going right into that abdomen, that nice diaphragm area. Nice big inhale and exhale. Let it out. Nope. Starting to let everything come back in. Let's take one more of those. Just a big diaphragmatic breath. Nice big inhale. Breathing in nice and low. Really feeling that belly button press outward. And exhale. Feeling that hand draw back in. So good. If you like to set an intention for your class, go ahead and do so now. What brings you to your mat? What would be a word that you maybe want to encourage you today with? Excellent. Start to soften and settle. Let's take one more. Just a big neutral inhale breath, however you want to take it. Breathing in. And exhale, let it go. So good. One more big inhale. And exhale. It's not getting an extra one except with the yawn coming on. I would start to wake up the body. Some nice little movements. Starting to wake up. Maybe wake up the head and the neck. Getting into that little cervical spine, the top of the spine. Get some movement and some motion. All those muscles have to work super hard all day long, keeping your head up nice and straight and strong. Maybe roll into your shoulders. You wiggle into fingers and toes. Get some of those cracks and pops out. Beautiful. Here, laying down, let's roll on up into a seated position. I'll try to finish class off today with some nice reclined stuff. I do have some plans for that. But first, a little warm up, a little movement. Taking a little sip of coffee. I feel like I really need that coffee this morning. Alright, so coming to that seated position. I've been playing around with different seated positions. Yesterday we did the stacked leg version, or I did. Today I'm going to go trying to bring my ankles one in front of the other, legs flat, but a little bit more open. You're so stir crazy this morning, hey? Are you gonna crawl under there? Sorry for only dog blocking the view, but she's cute, so we'll work with it. Okay, so yeah, find that seated position. Let's take a nice big inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, relax those shoulders, draw that belly button in, starting to feel that strength that the breath can create. Let's take an inhale using the arms. Take a nice inhale, sweep those arms up, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center, drawing them in. Release, take a big breath in. Exhale, draw the hands down. One more of those. Big inhale breath. Just a nice warm up for the shoulders. It's easy and it works and you can connect the breath. So if you think of something different, let me know. But I like this one, hands to heart. Try to round those shoulders forward here. Just kind of almost like you just kind of pushed gently on the back. And now they're coming forward. See if here you can take a big inhale breath. Feel how that feels. Let it go. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears. Start to push them back, but don't drop them down. So keeping them high up and push back. Try to take a big inhale here. And on that exhale, let those full shoulders fall down, resting more in that back and tuck down position. A nice way of looking at it is imagining your shoulder blades trying to tuck into the opposite back pocket of your pants. So just imagine them sliding down like that. And let's take another nice big inhale breath. Just noticing the ease it is to take a big breath there when you have have that full relaxed position. So imagine if you're always hunching up, either doing whatever it is you're doing, typing, you're stressed on your phone, you're dealing with messages, whatever it is. Or some people just really hunch up more towards the back. Even laying in bed, they can be so nice and stressed. But if you can even just drop the shoulders, that will help you breathe better. That'll help your body get into that parasympathetic nervous system, the rest digest, and so many other things just by that physical little motion. So if you see someone it's really tight and tense, tell them roll their shoulders back and down, take a big breath. Say, place your hands on their shoulders, but 2 meters away, can't do that. Hit them with your hockey stick. Okay, enough of that. Serious yoga, Janelle. No more fun. So, take another nice inhale breath. Just sitting nice and tall. Let's just come into a nice easy twist this morning. Just reaching for opposite knee. I'm twisting towards the left. Reaching hand out and spinning it all the way around. Just getting some nice rotation through the spine, maybe through those shoulders. Maybe the twist simply starts there by rotating one shoulder back, one shoulder forward. And see if you can take a big breath here just to add some length to the spine, really pulling that crown of the head upwards. And take that nice exhale. And just see if you can soften through the shoulders a little bit more. Let the body relax. Take one more nice big inhale. And let's exhale. Come on back towards center. Reaching for that opposite knee. Getting ready to twist in the other direction. So opposite knee, opposite hand, opposite side. Other hand reaches out and starts to spin, spin, spin all the way around. Maybe it plants in behind you. You take that little moment rolling through the shoulders, finding the depth of the twist you like. Nice inhale. Nice exhale. Connecting in another big breath, getting nice and tall. Exhale, maybe adding in a little bit of depth or perhaps softening. Nice and slowly, let's start to release, coming back towards center. Beautiful. And let's sweep those arms up, bring them out in front of you, and start to bow down, planting those hands down. Maybe you plant them nice and close to the body for a little bit more ease. Maybe a little bit farther from the body. Maybe you take a couple moments of walking those hands a little bit more further. Just as nice as this feels on the back, even if like your sits bones start to pop up, like sometimes it feels just really good to almost get into a touch of a puppy pose here. Feeling that nice stretch on the arms and on the shoulders. For some reason my shoulders are just a little tender today. Feeling like getting into them a little bit more. Start to slide back down. And start to come on back up. And we'll switch the feet. Getting into the opposite side. That non-dominant side. Switching it around. Beautiful. Take a nice sweeping inhale. Start to really reach it up nice and strong. Maybe coming towards steeple. I love this because then it's like you're holding hands with yourself. You got your little pointer fingers reaching up, and the hands can help pull the other side up a little bit more, finding tons of that length through the arms. So good. Nice big reach. Let's take that exhale over and towards the left. Really reaching, starting to get into those ribs, into that underarm. Nice big reach. Just a quick one on this side. Let's come on back up. Find that neutral. Reach both arms up. Start to feel that openness and tip over towards the right. And keep reaching those arms. Let it feel good. Find that nice little point. Let's come on back up. Reaching back over towards the left. And let's drop that bottom hand down, having it be a little more passive, a little more relaxed in the stretch, a little bit less obliques. You can add that nice little pulse in. Starting to get some of that depth. Working with the edge. Maybe you stay up on your hands. Maybe you go on fingertips. Maybe the hand is close or far. All sorts of different options. And start to notice where you naturally land. Let's come on back up. Reach those arms up. Maybe you even connect them. Reaching so nice and tall. Tipping over towards the right. Nice big reach first. And then drop that bottom hand down. And coming in just a nice little side bend, stretching. Since I've started doing this, I've noticed just some overall openness in these areas. Is reaching on top of the cupboards, and just with that ability to kind of take a moment, set it in, and reach, and was kind of at a bit of an angle, and was like, oh look, this is thanks to yoga that I can do this. So, getting in there. Beautiful. Let's come on back up, reach it up. Nice and tall, really, really reach as much as you can. If you want a little more, you can start to add in that back bend. Maybe you start to reach up, maybe gaze goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe you start to draw just the hands back. Maybe you lift through the heart, adding in the little curve through the spine. On back towards neutral. Draw the hands into heart center. Pressing gently into the hands, a little squeeze of those shoulder blades, finding that little openness. Exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Take one more. Nice big inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. So good. Let's come into our all fours position. Rolling into that nice little tabletop. Coming into hands, stacking under shoulders, knees under hips. Feeling that nice little connection in with the ground. Feel free to add any props you might need to under the knees, under the wrists. And start here just by finding a bit of length. Let's find a little traction, natural traction this morning. So a little tuck of the chin. Extend the crown of the head as long as you can. Really pull those ears away from the shoulders. And feel how the hands need to press down to help stabilize and activate a little bit more into this pose and posture. So good. Draw that belly button in. Using that low back nice and strong in all those muscles, and then imagine someone just pulling, trying to pull the hips back, but you're countering it by pulling through the head forward. Let's try to keep this huge engagement and motion we have, and then let's add onto it. So keep all of that as much as you can with control. Let's start to send the right leg back. Maybe you touch it down, keeping it really gentle and easy. Keep that engagement, keep that head pulling. Maybe you start to float, foot up. So good. Now you're imagining someone pulling on that leg or on that heel to get that nice traction happening. If you want more still, you can walk the left fingertips forward. Maybe you just place them down on the ground, or maybe the hand starts to float up, coming into that tiger pose. This is yoga's natural traction pose. And so keep reaching that hand forward. Imagine someone pulling on the hand, keep kicking into that heel. And so nice and strong, feeling all of that length through the body being created. So good. Take a nice inhale breath. Exhale, stay nice and strong, drawing that belly button in. Let's bring hand down, bring knee down. Relax, release everything. Take that nice little sway from side to side. Pressing hip out one way and then the next. Ooh, left hip, real sore. That's what we're finding. Right hip's doing okay. Thinking maybe a little pigeon pose today. What do you guys think? It's usually a crowd pleaser. We'll see. We'll try it, and if it doesn't work, we'll flip around onto our backs and do recline pigeon. Alright, let's get ready, coming into the other side. But first, let's find all of that traction. So have a little tuck of the chin. Extend the head nice and long, really drawing those ears away from the shoulders. Start to press a little bit more into the hands to have that full activation. Draw that belly button in just ever so slightly. It's not like you're really sucking everything in there, but just that little engagement through that low back. And imagine someone pulling on your hips backwards. You're countering that through the head, reaching it out. So good. If you're ready to add on some more, work on sending those left toes back. Maybe you touch them down. Maybe you start to float them up. You're welcome to simply stay here. Keep working on that, or if you want more still, reach right fingertips forward. Maybe getting to the balance, reaching right hand up. Keep that chin nice and tucked. Keep extending so long. Holding here for a couple breaths worth of time. See if you can still find the breath here with all of that lengthening that's currently happening. So strong. Keep holding. Keep drawing that belly button in. And then let's bring hand down, knee down. Take that nice little sway from side to side. Good job. Finding some stillness. And let's walk our hands forward, just taking a bit of a nice little puppy pose. If you prefer child's pose, go ahead, but I like puppy pose because you can stay a little bit more active in it. So walking the hands forward and then melting the heart down, keeping the hips over the knees, nice and high up in the air. Arms are nice and engaged, just pressing, just kind of like this little baby downward dog. I actually love to move through this as I'm doing my normal downward dog to really set my spine, my arms, my shoulders. Arms can stay active, or if you're able to bring forearms down on towards the ground, you can have it be a little more restorative, a little more restful as a pose. Feeling that nice connection, just keeping some softness. Let's start to press in, pressing into those hands. And then we'll transition right into that downward dog. So tucking those toes under, pressing into the hands, into the feet. So the knees lift up, hips go up in towards the air. Maybe take a little moment pedaling up the feet. Pressing in nice and strong. Excellent. Let's look towards the front of the mat. Take a hop, step, jump, or tiptoe into a nice forward fold. Maybe you pet your dog. What's going on? You okay? You need to go outside? Can I do my yoga, please? No? Okay, go. Finding that nice forward fold, finding that openness through the back line of the legs, through the hamstrings. I really just love a forward fold, and even adding in a little pulse here. We'll start to add some more length to those hamstrings. It's a day of distractions. We've got dishwashers being unloaded, dog coming in and out. Who knows, maybe the phone will ring next. It's all good though. Nothing I can do. It's all delightful. Alright, let's keep adding in onto our yoga practice here. Just play around with that forward fold. And let's come on up halfway. Bring those hands just above the knees. My favorite way to come up, finding length through the spine first. Extending nice and long, rolling those shoulders back and down. Adding that gentle little bend to the knees. Basically finding a bit of a chair pose. Roll those shoulders, find some length. Maybe you sweep those hands up, engaging through the core a little bit. Maybe hands just at heart. Or reaching the hands up overhead. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just sink into it like you're actually sitting back on maybe the nice high bar stool. Maybe at the kitchen table. Maybe you go down a little bit lower. Sitting on your stool. And then let's press all the way up to standing. Reach it up nice and tall. Exhale. Hands to heart center. Drawing everything in. Standing nice and tall and strong. And I love to work on balance postures. It lets us get into the feet, and balance is really important, especially as we start to get older. So just awareness of the feet and the toes. I like to rock into heels and toes. Just kind of telling my brain, hey, you need to be active and sensing here. So good. Find some stillness, and then let's come into that nice strong mountain pose. So finding a way to really root the feet down, really kind of press the feet, have a gentle little bounce to the knees, or they're not locked back. Imagine lifting that kneecaps, that'll usually help with that there. Imagine the knees as little dials and dialing them outwards. I think that's probably my favorite cue. That comes from Denise that I talked about yesterday with her fascia. That activates those lateral lines, those side lines of the body. You can feel that engagement right away. Just a real gentle tuck of the tailbone that'll help you engage through the core. Feel everything drawing in nice and strong, so everything is drawing up and in, engaging through those inner thighs even. Take a nice inhale, roll the shoulders back and down, spin the palms open. So strong. Excellent. Just working with just a basic standing pose. Really important, but feel how active we can really be here. Pressing in to the feet, feeling all that engagement through the body. If anyone were to walk by us, they wouldn't think we were really working on anything, but we know inside that we are starting to feel into those muscles and they are engaged. They have their light switches turned on. So good. Just hanging out here for one more breath. Let's take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let it out. Beautiful. Let's start to shift our weight towards that left side. Right toes. Maybe you come up just onto the tippy toe. Maybe you find your little drishti point, your point of focus. Maybe you can start to bring that foot up. Maybe bring it up a little higher. See if you can catch onto the leg or the knee, drawing the leg in towards the chest. A little bit more if you can't, that's okay. You can either just float the leg up, or if you have a strap, that'd be a great opportunity to lasso the bottom of the foot and bring the leg up a little bit higher. Just giving it a nice big squeeze. The standing version of that little hip work that we do. If you even want to get into that, you can add some little movement into the leg, working on that connective tissue through the hip. But mixing it with the balance, so it will rock from side to side. Find that stillness, draw that leg in, maybe a little bit more. Make sure that you can still come all the way up to standing shoulders, still rolling back and down, not hunching into it to hold on to the leg. So good. I'm gonna just release, holding on to the back of the knee, and just working on extending the leg. So if you want more challenge, you can release the leg, just using your hip flexors to work on that. I've got a little flex to my foot happening, and you gotta press hard into that left leg, that standing leg. Usually you kind of sink into it here, but you have a little lean back that happens. Try to stay up nice and tall, feeling that accent, bring a bend back to that knee. Let's amp this up a little bit, open the knee out towards the side, but don't connect the foot. We got a little Captain Morgan stance here. Imagine you're standing on your barrel or your step stool. And then if you want more still, you can start to extend the leg out towards the side. If you need more ease, if you can reach onto the knee, that'll help take some of the weight out of those hip flexors, pressing hard into that left leg still, and bring that leg back towards center. Bring that foot down, march it out, give your hips a little sway to help release. Good old standing postures, hey? Are they helping you work up a sweat as well? Maybe it's just the sunshine on me. I don't know, it's really getting me today. It's good. All right, let's come back to that nice strong mountain pose. Pressing into heels and toes, finding the balance between the two. Activating into those knees, nice little dials. Imagine them just rotating outwards. Feel that activation through the sidelines. Gentle little tuck of the tailbone. Nice inhale breath, getting nice and tall. Exhale, roll shoulders back and down, palms spin open. We could also, I guess, call this the standing Shavasana pose. But it's not restful like that. We're active, we're engaged. We've got that belly button drawing in. We're engaging through that mula bandha, that pelvic floor. Everything is zips up and in through the inner thighs, all through the core. Nice and strong. Beautiful. Just working with the breath, working with the balance. If you want to become more aware of your feet here, close your eyes. When you're just standing, you're nice and strong, you got both feet planted. And as you close your eyes, you start to notice how you shift your weight between your feet to just balance and stay standing. Maybe you go a little more forward and back. Maybe it's a little more left and right. Maybe your brain knows the other side is coming, so it's already shifting weight towards that side. See if you can keep it all nice and balanced. Let's draw the eyes back open, or you can try it with eyes closed as well. Start to shift that weight towards those right toes. Left toes start to come up. Still pressing in nice and strong to that right standing foot. Left toes Start to draw inwards. Maybe you grab onto the leg. Maybe you grab your strap and lasso that foot, or even behind the knee. The foot works a little bit better. You can kind of stomp into it. Maybe you really draw that knee up in towards the body, grabbing through the front of the knee. I get that there is a decent amount of challenge involved in this, not just on the balance side of things, but drawing that knee in. Maybe you start to, I just hold on with one side, and add that little wiggle in like we do when we're laying down. Ooh, it's much harder on this side. And find my point of focus. There we go. Finding that point of focus, super helpful in keeping that balance. Excellent. All right, find that stillness. Maybe you're just holding on underneath the knee now, relaxing slightly through the leg. If you want a little more, you can start to extend that leg. Nice and long, little flex to the foot. If you want more, still release the hand. Pressing so firm into that right standing leg, kicking that leg out forward. And if you need to lower the foot down, you go right ahead. If you want more challenge, keep trying to draw it upward. So good. Keep holding for 3, 2, and 1. Bring a bend back to that knee. Find some openness here. Getting ready to come into that little Captain Morgan stance, whatever that might be. And then, if you want that extra challenge, start to extend that leg long. Maybe you're holding onto the leg. Maybe your hand is released. Your choice here. Feel that openness through the hip. Maybe you're imagining holding on to something. Maybe that right standing leg is just yelling at you. Keep holding. Bring a bend back to that knee. Draw that knee back towards center and release. Bring it down. How do the feet feel? Maybe they need some love. Marching it out. I've got this little point and flex happening here. So good. Great way to work the hips. Nice standing postures. You're so welcome to try that at home. You're going to be cleaning dishes and working on your extension. All right. That was fun. Let's stand at the top of our mats. Take a nice inhale. Reach it up nice and tall. Exhale, start to bow down into that nice forward fold. Maybe you hang out halfway. Maybe you come down a little more. Let the head hang nice and heavy and give that head a little shake low. Hi. Maybe pet your dog. We need some love. Hanging out this nice forward fold. This is nice, a little hug of the dog. You're not usually this clingy. I got her to be a little bit of a therapy dog, a little companion dog. I asked for the most snuggly dog in the litter, and I think I got the least snuggly dog in the litter, except for the moments like this that I just savor. Are you gonna wag your tail a little bit? Are you thinking about it? Is that because I'm talking? All right, let's add on into this forward fold. This was the plan to hold it for a decent amount of time. I'm gonna bend through my left knee, creating a nice little shelf for my elbow to hang out on, really accentuating stuff through my right side. So even pressing that right hip out a little bit more to the side. And then if you want more, you can start to spin right shoulder open, placing hand on hip. This is really just meant to target in through the leg. I think this is one of my favorites as well. Just feels so good on the hamstring, a little bit through the IT band, depending on how you're pressing into that right side of the body. If you want more still, that right hand can sweep all the way up, getting a little shoulder work in there as well. Keep trying to roll that shoulder back. So good. So nice. Let's exhale. Start to bring that hand back down, meeting back in that nice neutral forward fold position. Knees can be bent here. Hands can reach down. So nice. Beautiful. Let's start to come in towards that other side. So I'm bending through that right knee. making a nice little shelf for the elbow. You can even bend through both knees here if that's where you need to start. You'll really maybe feel that more through the IT band. You want a little more, that left hand can hang out on the hip, on the left hip. And then as you feel you're ready to, you can start to straighten through that left leg, or finding some openness, rolling that shoulder back. Just find that sweet spot on your left side of the hip of the leg where it starts to feel good. Taking a few breaths here. Try not to let the ears hunch in, draw them away from the shoulders. Find that little bit of length. Maybe reach that left hand up, looking for a little more through the shoulders. Beautiful. Another nice inhale and exhale. And start to bring that hand back down. Coming back into that neutral forward fold. Both legs doing the same thing now. So good. I see a big long hum there, but I can't quite read it from here. So sorry if I'm missing out on something. Beautiful. Hanging out upside down is good for that proprioception, which means knowing where you are in space. Your head is upside down. You still got to figure out how everything is working there. If you want to add to your proprioception, you can close your eyes here. You might get a little dizzy. You might notice that blood flow in your brain a little bit more. Just kind of activates everything through there. All right, let's start to journey on down. Starting to get a little more restorative in our postures. I just really needed this hamstring stretch today, so thanks for hanging out in forward fold. Let's inhale, a little halfway lift, coming out nice and safely, giving some time for that brain to rebalance, blood not rushing out of it, thanks to gravity. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. And then let's bend the knees. So you can plant the hands down, take a nice big step back into your little downward dog. Just getting a nice little stretch. Hey Doreen, if you want that flow, we could take a little flow here. She mentioned that's her favorite. So if you want to keep this extra gentle, you just hang out here, maybe drop the knees into that child's pose, but I'll flow with you. And coming into your plank pose, maybe drop those knees down. Take that exhale, lower all the way down. Take an inhale, nice little back bend, coming into your little baby cobra. Bring those elbows in, rolling those shoulders away, and then start to press on back up, maybe through that tabletop, maybe through that puppy pose, back into a nice downward dog. So good. All right, let's drop those knees nice and wide, coming into the child's pose. Just a nice restorative pose. Sits bones work on drawing back towards the heels. They obviously don't have to come to touch, but just more of that sitting back motion, whereas puppy pose, hips stay nice and high, body comes forward. This, we're working on sitting back, wherever that looks for you. Thank you. Reaching those hands forward. Aw, are you just my bud today? Thanks, I love you too. Alright. Starting to transition out of this. Coming forward. We're going to start to work our way onto our backs. So rolling back and down. Come on back. Lay it down. Bend the knees, plant those feet, roll those shoulder blades back and down. Nice little tuck of the chin. Not on camera. Starting to relax. Start to feel that spine connecting in with the entirety of the mat, the floor, whatever you're laying on. Start to get that nice stretch. Take an inhale and lengthen through the spine. Exhale, see if you can just relax, soften, melt on down into it. So good. I was feeling, I guess, just more reclined pigeon than anything. So let's go for that. Bringing right ankle onto left knee. Send that right knee back, opening up, starting to feel a bit of stretch through the hip. Even here, it doesn't have to be a big hard pushback, just enough to start to get into that hip. Still need to be mindful of that knee, just letting it be the femur, so the thigh portion of the leg that's kind of pressing and rotating to find that openness. Take that exhale, you can start to relax through there, coming back to more of that neutral position, but keeping the ankle crossed. And then whenever you're ready, maybe you start to float that left leg up. Maybe you just simply come up onto tiptoes, or a block or a book underneath that. Maybe that's enough of a stretch through your right hip for you there. That's still a great option. Or maybe that foot comes all the way up and you reach for ankle, knee, the top of left knee. Maybe you reach on through, linking the hands behind the thigh. I like to be able to either get the link or hold the top of my knee. But see if you can still relax through those shoulders, just having the arms have that bit of engagement to hold on through. Maybe you take that little rock from side to side. Maybe you enjoy the stillness, really trying to draw the legs in towards the body. Or maybe you want a little more on that back line of that left leg, sending that left foot up towards the ceiling, or maybe even drawing that leg in a little bit more. So out, not just up. You notice you'll start to relax through the legs there, but up and moving towards the body. Whatever is your preference there. Feeling that nice little connection. My hips feel pretty great today. Finding some openness. And if this is so easy for you, the holding of the back of the leg, if you want to make it harder, you got to have a bend to that left knee, and then you can start to reach for the top of the shins. You might even need to lean up to do it. So as long as you can get the head and the shoulders back down, nicely relaxed, you can start to draw it more inwards. If the shin is still easy, then you can reach for the ankle, for the foot. Just starting to keep those hands drawing farther down the leg. We'll keep drawing the legs in towards the chest, getting that nice pig stretch. Finding all those sweet spots. Let's hold for one more round of breath here. Nice big inhale. Nice exhale. And ever so slowly starting to release those hands. Maybe planting that left foot in, but not unwinding yet. Keep the same shape of right ankle over left leg. Let's reach those arms out wide, getting ready to come into a nice twist and dropping the legs down towards the left. Option to just plant it so that that right foot hangs out, right knee up in the air, or you can start to let them both melt down. Your choice. You can get more into the IT band, having the knee up and even drawing that knee back, or more rotation happens as that leg falls down towards the ground. Left hand can hang out on top of the leg. Maybe you give that IT band a little massage. Maybe gaze goes towards the right, including the neck in the twist, twisting all the way from the tailbone to the top of the head. Starting to soften. Notice, are you squeezing any tension anywhere? And can you start to let it go? Let's return the neck to neutral, always starting by unwinding there first. Releasing any binds you might have on the knee or the leg, and start to press those legs back on up in that neutral position and uncrossing them. And coming back to that good starting position. Arms can relax alongside the body. Let's get ready to come into the other side. Left ankle hangs out on a right knee. Start to send that left knee back, finding some openness, finding a bit of stretch and pull. Oh, so good. So excellent. If you feel nothing here, you can keep drawing that knee back, but at some point that might get really hard on the knee. You might just have really open hips. It might just be an overall easy position for you. And start to relax through that hip, coming back towards neutral, and get ready to float that right leg up. Maybe you just hop up onto tiptoe. Maybe you throw a little block or a prop underneath. That's another nice way to add on if you don't want to be holding onto the legs and that's too much on shoulders. That's a great option. Or maybe you like to reach up through, grabbing wherever. Same options on this side as the other side. You can rock back and forth. You can find that stillness and just draw the legs in. So good. Try to relax those shoulders. Keep that chin just ever so slightly tucked. Still finding length through the spine. It's really common here to start to have the chin coming up towards the ceiling. That's why I always cue the little tuck of the chin. So much better on the neck. If you want more on that back line of that right leg, foot can extend up. Keep drawing it inwards to keep that nice stretch through the left side. Maybe you add that bend, reach for the top of the calf. I don't know, just you can play around with it. It's fun. This is a great pose for so many different levels. You can keep it super gentle. You can add on that intensity. Working on finding those sweet spots in that left hip. So good. And taking another full round of breath here. A nice big inhale. Nice full exhale. Starting to slowly release the legs and the foot back down onto the ground. Trying to keep that same shape of left ankle on right knee. Start to reach those arms out, making space. And draw the legs down towards the right. Maybe planting that foot down. Maybe letting the knee draw in. Try to keep that left shoulder planted in, so whether your arm be up high or closer in towards the body, it's a little bit easier on the shoulder to stay connected. Feeling that nice rotation. Maybe gaze goes towards the left. Beautiful, so good. Seeing if you notice any tension, any little squeeze happening. Take a little moment, let it soften. That often takes courage. You can feel some tension in my hip, but I'm not ready to let it go yet, so it's still just gonna hang out there. Maybe if I really focus in on it, I can start to let it go. Using that exhale breath is a great tool. Just hearing that exhale encourages that softening through the body, that relaxing. Let's start to come out of this nice and slow. Head goes back towards neutral. Legs start to come on back up and unwind. Planting both feet down. Reach those arms up overhead. Take that nice good morning stretch. If you want a little more, you can extend through the legs. Maybe even pointing through the toes. Nice big reach, reach, reach. And exhale, bring the hands along side of the body. If you didn't extend your legs, start to extend your legs nice and long now. So last night in yoga party we talked about reclined cobbler pose, but here is the reclined half cobbler pose. So I'm going to start with my right side, bringing my right foot back in, letting the knee fall open and connecting that sole of the foot to the leg, also known as fallen tree. So think of that nice standing tree pose, foot connecting in wherever it so chooses, knee opening up, feeling really good. You can bring that right hand on top of the leg to help that hip find some more openness. Or another thing I love to do here is adding on those boss arms, tucking the hands interlaced behind the head, making that nice little pillow for the body. And I'm going to add in a little side bend here. So starting to wiggle towards the left, going away from the knee, finding some openness through that right side of the body, seeing if you can relax, keeping those shoulders connected and trying to find that openness through the elbows, keeping the arms connected with the ground as well. We'll take a few breaths here to really relax, really get into it. If the mind starts to wander, maybe you focus in on the breath. Maybe you add a little count to the inhale, noticing the length it takes you to breathe in and fill the lungs and the abdomen. Maybe you also add a count to that exhale, noticing the length it takes to breathe out, letting everything relax. Feeling that nice connection with the breath. Feel free to adjust a little bit as maybe you find some openness. You're welcome to add a little depth in on the wiggle. Or maybe you need to soften. Maybe you started out a touch too strong, and as we hold the postures, that intensity level keeps increasing. Feel free to add some softness, wiggling back a touch towards center. Nice big inhale, breathing into the lungs, the rib cage, the abdomen. And exhale, letting it go. Let's start to wiggle back towards neutral. And then if you want, we can take just a quick little counter bend, drawing your right elbow towards right knee. Just a little stretch on the left side. We'll do the same thing on the other side, so it'll get a nice stretch as well. But sometimes one side feels better than the other with that knee bent, so I like to offer both. Nice breath in. Nice exhale. Coming back towards neutral. If you can find neutral after all that bending. And then start to send right leg nice and long. Maybe you flex through the feet, drawing the feet in towards the body, extending long through the heels. And then relaxing the legs. Bring that left foot in. Bring the bend to the knee, planting the foot down, and then let the knee fall open. Coming into your little fallen tree on this side. My coffee out of the way. You can hang out in those boss arms, or maybe you bring hand on top of the leg or the hip, trying to find just a little bit more openness. You can interlace the hands, adding on that little side bend. Feeling that openness through the left side of the body. Starting to connect in with the breath. Maybe you feel that little pull through the hip. Maybe you feel it more through the ribs. Maybe you feel it more through the underarm. All depends on where your tension is hanging out. Either way, connecting in with the breath. Maybe you add that count to the length of the breath. Maybe you start to work with those numbers from the other side. The most relaxing breath is where your exhale is roughly twice as long as your inhale. Or you can come into some breath work that takes maybe a little bit more effort, where you come into that equal part breathing, trying to match the number of both inhale and exhale to being the same length of time. Usually starting with a count of 4 or 5. Oftentimes we can exhale to a count of 7, 8, 9, 10. Sometimes it's really hard to get that inhale to match that big exhale breath. Maybe you add that extra little depth in, or maybe you need to ease off, taking a little moment to adjust if you need to. If you're happy where you are, you can also just stay in that stillness, letting the body work with where it's at. Taking another nice inhale here, breathing in nice and deep. Exhale, let it out. One more nice big breath in. Exhale, release. And then starting to unwiggle, coming back towards center, taking that quick little counter twist over towards the left. Or counter bend, I guess. It's not a twist, it's a bend. Finding a bit of depth. Maybe having a little yawn. Not holding this side as long. Just feeling all the feels, letting it feel good. And then finding your center point. But I often need to look up and gaze in at my legs to make sure I'm actually in center. Releasing the legs, throwing it back down nice and long. You want the little good morning stretch. Maybe you reach those arms up overhead, feeling all that length be created through the side body, through that rib cage. Maybe you point through the toes this time. And exhale, release, and start to draw both knees in towards the body. And hugging on, feeling that low back connecting. Take that little rock from side to side. Nice little massage on the low back. Feels so good. And then if you want a little more for the hips and for the shoulders, we can work our way into a little happy baby. Maybe just hold on to the back of the knees, drawing the knees in towards the body, sending the feet up towards the ceiling. Or you could reach on through the knees, through the ankles, the feet, the big toe, however you want to hold on to. Relax that head back down, and then bring the feet up towards the ceiling. Knees will automatically draw in towards the body. You can take that little rock from side to side. You can play around here. This is a great way to reset the spine. You can actively pull into the feet, kick into the hands, create that resistance, and then extend the head nice and long. Feel all of that, and then relax. Here's a little freestyle portion of the class. So if there is any other pose or movement you want to get in on before settling into that Shavasana, playing around with it. Maybe you want a little waterfall pose, feet up towards the ceiling. I don't know, maybe you want another twist. Or maybe you just want to settle into that Shavasana right off the get-go. Taking just a few moments to explore some playfulness, a little creativity. Feeling good, feeling great. Start to settle into that Shavasana, that final pose you find yourself in, where you can relax, where you can breathe, where you can find some stillness through the body, maybe through the mind. Focusing in on that breath, letting the body just simply melt. And let's take 3 full inhales, exhale to an audible sigh to finish class off. So taking a nice big inhale breath, breathing in as big as you can. Exhale, let it out. One more nice big inhale, big breath in. Exhale, release. One more big breath, breathing in and sigh it out. Finding your stillness, just maybe taking all the time that you need to simply be here. I will roll up to see you to say goodbye, but you're welcome to stay in that nice reclined position, connecting in. I thank you so much for joining me this morning for a little restorative, little extra gentle yoga. I hope you had a lovely class. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I pray that it's filled with moments of joy and that you are always blessed. Thank you and namaste. Beautiful. Have a nice day. Bye, guys.